Friday, Oaklawn race fans. It is another beautiful day here in the Spa City. I'm Nancy Holthus, joined alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. And Matt, another 3-day race week this week because we will not race on Sunday in observance of the Easter holiday. So I'm not mad that we only have a couple of 3-day race weeks.
Well, we really get to hone in on eating some chocolate and have some good food on Easter Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we work hard here. We all do, whether it be us in the studio, the horsemen, the fans, our hardcore fans, they go at it day in and day out to follow our racing. So it's a little bit of a freshener for our type of track here, so to speak.
Yes, still a lot of amazing things still to come in our race season. But first, let's take a quick look at Mother Nature. What's doing outside? Nothing yet, but I will say, if you're going to handicap for tomorrow, handicap for an off racetrack. Our track is fast. Winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour, mostly cloudy skies, and we are looking at 71 degrees. So really nice day to be outside today. We know that spring is in the air, and we are all paying the pricely cost of allergies and sinuses, but it's so pretty to see everything in bloom. So that's one of my favorite. I think my favorite season is spring because all the beautiful flowers come out and you finally get to spend more time outside because we've all been trapped indoors.
And now we're starting to see from the balcony in my condo, I'll look out and I'm starting to see some boats, people fishing coming through.
Yeah,
so it's getting closer to lake season for those in the area here.
Very excited about lake season. Let's take a quick look at our Oaklawn news page for today, as we did see Abel Cedillo with a riding double and a hat trick for trainer Steve Asmussen and jockey Eric Asmussen. So nice 3 wins on the afternoon. Walkaway K is favored in the Rainbow Miss. We know ladies first, and tomorrow is another big day. We start with dawn at Oaklawn. Rain or shine, if it is raining, we will be upstairs in the box section. But we're going to highlight women in racing, the next generation. I think that's critically important in our industries because it is a male-dominated sport, but definitely want to get a woman's perspective. We will also have the Apple Blossom Draw tomorrow, that grade 1, $1.25 million for the older fillies and mares, which will also, the winner get a automatic berth into the Breeders' Cup Distaff. The probables are looking very, very impressive. Also tomorrow, Win the Wheel, Racing Riches, and of course, the Rainbow Stakes. So a busy day on Saturday, and again, no racing Sunday in observance of the Easter holiday. So Matt, one of the first races I did in the paddock yesterday, I come out of the paddock and there's like half the marketing team standing there just like waiting for me. And my first, I'm like, is this an intervention? What's going on? But it was my 5th straight year full time at Oaklawn, but technically I started like September of 2013 and was seasonal for several years, but it was my 5th straight year, so I got a nice little plaque and everything, and everybody's just standing there looking at me. I'm like, this is an intervention.
Near the paddock?
Yeah, I just came out of the jocks room door, and they're all just standing there, smiles and cheering. And I'm thinking,
well, congratulations, Nancy.
So,
I wish if I had known this, I would have run downstairs and done it with them.
No, it was pretty cool, though, because
that is cool.
Obviously, you know, growing up in Hot Springs, I always wanted to work here. So now that everything has kind of come full circle, right?
That's our whole theme for this year.
It is really, it's amazing. We do have 10 races on the Friday afternoon program. So let's go ahead and get things underway. Race number 1 is for the fillies and mares. Non-winners of 2 since December 3rd. Claiming price is $12,500, and we will go 1 mile in distance. And Matt, this is just one of 2 races that you and I agree on today.
Oh, okay. So hopefully good minds think alike here. We're going to hopefully 20% of the card we agree on with the topic anyway, doing the math. So that's not too shabby. Crushed Ice is the pick here for both of us here, Nancy. Obviously, you have to like that last run going the flat mile, and won pretty easily that day. And this horse lost form, and since moving to the barn of Steve Asmussen 3 starts ago when he claimed this one for 12.5, he's gotten her to run her best form. So the barn switch has been a help. I also think getting to 2 turns. If you look at this runner's 2-turn races, a lot of these races that this horse has run previously before entering Steve's barn as of late or sprints or at one-turn miles. The 3 two-turn races on the page have all been the best races, and I just think that's the key. 2 turns on the dirt, going the flat mile here. I do not think that last run was a fluke. I think they found the key here.
Yeah, I totally agree with Matt on here. There's not a ton of speed in race number 1, but I do anticipate her fairly close to the pace, and we did have Steve and Eric Asmussen team up for a trio of victories, and I think that momentum is going to continue here today as well. Race number 2, it's for Arkansas bred fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 3 in for the $25,000 claim price, and they're going to sprint 6 furlongs in distance. And as you can see, we do have a field of 8.
A field of 8 signed on in here, sprinters in this race, and I'm going to pick Q's Your Mama in this race. I watched that last replay when she was in for 12.5. This is a state-bred race, and this filly had to check a little bit at the start, was a little bit farther behind than they probably wanted her to be. She had to check again on the far turn, just mildly when behind horses, then had to swing wide turning for home. It took her a while to find her stride late in the race, but rallied on for a second, outfinished 4 other runners for that spot, and a blanket finish for second. So I thought that was a better than looked effort on the page here, and I think Wildwood Queen, the winner of that last race, a faster filly than the one she faces here. So I like her. I think there's upside, especially with a better trip.
I'm going to go with the number 5, Kernon. Joby Castor sends this one out and legs up jockey Ramon Vasquez. She has the least amount of starts, very lightly raced compared to the rest of the group, but has managed to make 2 trips to the winner's circle in just 5 career efforts. She does take on non-3 for the first time today after that gate and wire score back in February against $16,000 company. That was also her first start back off nearly 5 months on the shelf. If she gets out on the lead today, I certainly think she is a major contender. So Kernon, it is for me, very light, as I said, a lightly raced 4-year-old filly, but that's not a bad record, 2 for 5. So I'm going to see if I can maybe get her a little closer to the winner's circle. Race number 3, 3-year-olds, non-winners of 2, $50,000 tag at a mile and a 16th in distance. And as we take a look, we do have a field of 7, and I think they're some decent amount of speed kind of sprinkled within the group.
Well, you've got a kid Charlemagne who has shown speed in the past. 6-string Prince likes to be close. Midnight Menace gate to wire last time out. So there's some pace in here on paper at least. We'll see how it plays out in the race. I did pick a runner, Nancy, that has tactical speed. So in a race where you think there's speed, it's good to see a runner that has some versatility in Jets Rio. Coming off a 6-length loss, I just look at the runners that he's faced. I mean, Western Warrior won that race, came right back to win. If he could run in this race, I mean, this horse would be odds on to beat this field. If you can finish 6 lengths behind Western Warrior, you're probably fast enough to be fairly competitive in a race like this, and you ought to be. If you're a top pick, you hope they're competitive, and I just think that this horse, if he can stock the pace right off the pace here, this is a class drop. Ran an allowance 2 starts ago, was no match for Bricklin, who of course ran 4th in the Arkansas Derby. So I think this is a class drop, and I think this is a field he can handle here.
I'm going to kind of go out on a limb with race number 3 and go to the number 1, Lee Grand Zombie. What do you think, Matt? Le
Grand Zombie.
Le Grand Zombie, coming from the barn of Kenny McPeak, Manny Esquivel aboard. The barn's going to switch some things up here, which I find interesting for this 3-year-old. As her 2 career starts did come routing over the fairgrounds turf. She broke the maiden last out after dropping in for a tag and did face maiden 30 runners. And it's interesting, both dam and sire were strictly turf runners. So it is going to be interesting to see how she does take to the surface today. Obviously, she trains over it, but this will be her first appearance in the afternoon. The barn is 20% with the surface switch, and I'm thinking is just looking to sit off of the early speed. So this is one that Kenny did not take to Keeneland, but instead runs her here over the dirt surface. So you never know. Might take to the dirt, and it's the first sire or the first foal by the dam too.
He's trained on the dirt, so obviously Kenny's watched this horse train and said, all right, I think this horse can run effectively on the dirt. A pedigree out of a Frosted mare, even though she was a turf horse herself. Frosted was a dirt horse. So Kenny is not scared to make this move. I feel like a lot of trainers in this country, and I wouldn't blame them either, they might look at the sire and the dam and the turf pedigree and cause for pause to actually try the horse on the dirt. But
sure.
I've seen it, especially with claiming horses. At Golden Gate, I saw it, horses that had some turf pedigree, they transferred it to the dirt. I feel like classier horses that have turf pedigree, it's harder to transfer versus maybe a little bit lower claiming types of horses.
I agree with that statement. Race number 4, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 or non-winners of a race since May 3rd. That was our last year's closing day. $16,000 is the purchase price, and they will contest 1 mile in distance. Do have a scratch of the number 1, one more story, which leaves us now with a field of 7.
One Giant Leap's the pick for me, who inherits the inside now. We saw this a week or two ago with a Chris Hartman trainee who what he did, I'm trying to think of the name, and it's out of my head, but he took a horse, didn't run well in a sprint first off a break, looked like the horse was a router, and then came back second off the break and went to the route and got the job done. And that's the case with One Giant Leap, who is coming off a layoff here. Now, this horse sprinted first off about a year break for trainer Chris Hartman last time out at the fairgrounds, and now second off the break, getting to the route game. Before the layoff, this horse was a router. He ran second here last season in allowance. He's in for 16 today, so I would imagine he's not the same horse he was last year, but he doesn't need to be to win this race. So I like this second off a layoff, getting back to the route game, taking a mild drop in class, and David Cabrera, who's done good work for Chris Hartman this meet, he's got the call, and I'm trying to think of the horse's name that won. It begins with an H. Jane Elliott rode the horse, and I picked this horse a couple weeks ago. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I just see the same type of move here.
Maybe that's the Artemis 2 hunch play for the recent moon launch as well, One Giant Leap. I'm going to go a little further to the outside with the number 7 on the stage. Eric Asmussen in the irons for Steve. As we mentioned, they teamed up for a hat trick on yesterday's card. This runner has produced really solid numbers throughout his career and higher than most in this particular group of runners. He's looking to improve off a 4th place effort against restricted $20,000 company at a mile and a 16th. I do like just that slight cutback for him, as all 3 wins have come at today's mile distance. Now, there is a decent amount of speed to his inside, which could set up for that nice closing kick down the lane. And one thing I've noticed, I always try to read the charts the day after just to see pace and all that kind of stuff. And it seems like the latter part of the card is favored more towards closers than, say, the beginning part of the card. So yeah,
that's very interesting.
Just something I happen to notice.
Well, it's a good thing to notice. And any little edge you can get in knowing track profiles and things of that nature, it's a good thing. So good on you, Nancy, to do that homework. And
now watch that not happen anymore.
Well, you never know. You never
you never know.
Horse racing throws you curveballs, and you see different types of off-speed pitches with that in mind.
Yeah, for sure.
By the way, Higginsville is the name of the horse. That's what I'm thinking of, Higginsville.
Very good. Race number 5, let's talk fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2. That claim price is $12,500, and they will go a mile and a 16th in distance, and a field of 10, as there are 9 betting interests, but both parts of the entry will go.
Yeah, we got 2. Actually,
11. Sorry, that's an 11 horse.
I was counting. I'm like 1, 2, 3. I'm the type of guy that, like, if I'm playing blackjack at the table and it's like a 9 and a 6, I'll be like 10, 11 with my fingers to try to figure it out. By the way, before we get to this race, I saw on Thursday for our race card, we've got 3 coupled entries in one race on Thursday, which I don't remember the last time I've seen that, because there aren't that many of them.
1A, 2B, 3 3C.
Yes.
But also, back in the day, there was 1A, 1X.
If there was a third.
Yeah, 2B, 2Y, 3C, 3Z.
This is like geometry.
That's been so long ago since we used to have coupled entries, but that is now a thing here in Arkansas. And I believe the cutoff is around 20,000, where at 20,000 or less, those same owner entries will be coupled. So that's the reason for that.
And we've got 2 of the entries here. I picked up Price in here, Nancy.
Nice.
Sister Carly. This runner last time out got bet at this level last time and just didn't run much that afternoon. But I like the fact that this horse here, if you look at her best races, they're good enough to win. And I thought that last race, got taken back and was a little keen to go, and I'm hoping this time around they're a little more aggressive, getting this horse a little bit closer than she usually is. I'm going to pick her at a price here. I think she's interesting in this spot, and I like to pick runners that get bet in a race, they don't run well, and then maybe they go off at a higher price and they come back and surprise you.
Yeah, and owner John Holloman has had a pretty good race meet, and we also want to thank him because he is a big supporter of our Arkansas Thoroughbred Retirement Fund.
He is,
Yes.
and he's had a very good last few seasons here. So John, really, really a great owner for the game and really showing support for our aftercare thoroughbreds, always ringing that bell, and we thank everybody who rings the bell because it's pretty much a race-to-race occurrence at this point. Everybody wants to ring the bell, and I'm hoping Sister Carly's connections can. The one other thing, too, the only time this runner is routed on the dirt 4 starts ago, only lost by a length and a half. They tried this horse sprinting 3 times, didn't work, back to the route game today. So that's my keys with her. And Sister Carly, Abel Cedillo. Abel's family's here this week from Kentucky,
nice,
Sarah
weekend.
and the babies.
Very
He's got 2 young kids, Lucas and Eli, and they got to ring the bell with Abel yesterday.
I love that. That's so cool. That's become like a really cool tradition now. People can't wait to go ring that bell because it does mean you just got your picture taken. So you're supporting an amazing cause as well, because even though these horses are retired, they still cost a lot of money to maintain.
Yes.
Yeah, very much. I'm actually going to look at Sippy's runner in here, Cipriano Contreras, Manny Escobar aboard. That's the number 4, Donita. Very lightly contested filly. Does come in 3rd off the layoff, where the barn does excel, but around 21%. Does come off the maiden score when taking the drop down to the $15,000 level. Led the way in that field of 8 and really did separate herself from the pack as she just motored through the stretch to score by 5 lengths. And she was the favorite with Manny in the irons, but also when taking those blinkers off that she had worn in her 4 prior starts. So that turned to be, tells me she really doesn't need them anymore and was able to put forth a really good effort. But if number 1 Carmelita shows speed like last out, they could very possibly hook up from the bell and set a nice little wicked pace on the front end.
I think there's a good shot that happens. And she got clear last time out, Dunita, and really strutted her stuff that day. She got everything her own way on the lead, and this time around there's other pace, but sometimes that light bulb turns on, as we mentioned, and maybe it will for Dunita.
We're going to take a quick break on this Friday edition of Oaklawn Today, and when we return, we'll talk the first leg of the final 50-cent Pick 5 on the Friday afternoon.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Get ready to race into riches this Saturday, April 4th at Oaklawn. Swipe your IDs at the racing swipe stations for 1 free entry into our Racing Riches drawing. Be sure to activate your entries by swiping your ID before the start of race 7 to be eligible for the final drawing. Because after race 7, 5 winners will each take home $2,000 in cash. Race into riches and turn your day at the track into a payday.
Fans first, fun always. Join us on April 25th for Oaklawn's Fan Appreciation Day. Earn entries for a Fan Appreciation Day drawing by swiping your ID on Thursdays, Fridays, or Sundays for double entries, and on Saturdays for a single entry. After each of the first 7 races on April 25th, 5 lucky fans will be called to claim cash prizes. ranging from $300 to $1,000. Make sure to activate your entries by swiping before race 7 to be eligible for the final drawing, where 5 fans will take home $1,000 each. And the fun doesn't stop there. Enjoy free parking, snag some Oaklawn swag, and grab a voucher for free popcorn or a hot dog and soda while supplies last. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 25th, so you don't miss out on prizes, perks, and pure Oaklawn fun. Only on Fan Appreciation Day.
Flare off in the Rainbow Mist stake. Caliente Star leveling off, drawing clear now, and she will remain unbeaten. And she's now a stakes winner. Caliente Star, a star here, wrapped up late to win the Rainbow Mist.
Ladies first in the Rainbow Miss, and very excited tonight there will be the Arkansas Breeders Association dinner. So gonna give some awards out and also a few little interviews we're going to do. So yeah, really looking forward to attending that. And it's amazing to see how far the Arkansas breeder program has come. I mean, years ago it was nearly non-existent, but now you see Archie-breds at some of the key sales. There was a Archie-bred down on the recent Texas sale that went for like $75,000. And I think last year there was one at OBS that went for 6 figures. So people are really starting to realize that, and especially it didn't hurt to have Holland Ice make national news. You know, she's been I love that she's really, really good at all different levels, at all different tracks, and I think she's going to be an amazing mommy.
I think she will be, yeah, and she is just very sweet in the barn on the track. She's got a very good mind.
Little. She's like the perfect little, you know, monster on the racetrack.
Yeah, she's a tank.
Beast.
I mean,
she's a beast.
Sometimes the smaller, stocky ones. Think about Megahertz. She was a tiny little filly that loved running down the hill at Santa Anita. And you don't always have to have size to be a good racehorse. And you know, at sales, I'm sure all the bloodstock agents have their formulas and ways of looking at things. But at the end of the day, you got to have luck. And sometimes you just find that gem in the rough. And she is certainly a gem in the rough because her pedigree does not suggest, well, this filly could be a superstar. Yeah. But we saw with California Chrome, you don't need a pedigree necessarily.
Out of nothing and by nothing, and yet produces amazing results. I don't know if you saw, there was a post earlier in the week on Equibase, and it was doing a lot of really down to the wire stats between Renegade and Commandment. You know, speed, top speed, how many strides, how long is the stride, I mean, how many steps and all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting to see how fast those horses are really going, the amount of ground that they're covering. And I think the top speed was like 38 and a half, 38.2, something like that. That's motoring.
That's sprint speed. That's like in a sprint race.
That is absolutely insane. So really looking forward to, there's still a few more Kentucky Derby qualifying races in Kentucky and also in New York, but I think we are very well represented, and I wouldn't be surprised. There's going to have to be a real big performance, I think, for somebody to take Renegade off of that current 4-1 leading group.
I agree. I tweeted that out very shortly after the race, Arkansas Derby. Just watching, he checks off all the boxes. I mean, he is versatile. He has a kick. He's very push button. He's got a good mind. Everything about him says he is a Kentucky Derby contender to really the targets on him and Commandment's back at this point.
Yeah, I think the further he goes, the better we are going to see him. I mean, he's just impressed so much already, but the further he goes, I really, really think he's going to improve.
Yeah, I don't see why he can't run any farther. I mean, and his gallop out, I mean, he had plenty left in the tank. And if you watch that final furlong, right when Irad asked him at the 8th pole, you can actually physically see him lengthen his stride and quicken. And that's not something easy to do, especially when Irad literally just said, I'm going to let you run and do whatever you want. And you sort of got shuffled back down the backstretch last with no pace, and he just blew by horses. Well, I think that was a statement.
I think another big thing that proves that he can do what he does is to ship and win. A lot of horses don't run well don't only run well in their own stalls. So the fact that he shipped, the fact he performed in front of 73,000 people, that was a very big deal.
And he didn't turn a hair. I
Yeah.
mean, he was in the paddock calm as a cucumber and went out to the infield and was loving walking
He's
around
just
on the
checking
grass.
all out. And it's so funny when you are around these horses, the really, really good ones, they know they're that good because when they hear a camera or something come on, they'll pose. I mean, it's so funny to see. And Nitrogen is kind of like that.
Is she?
Yeah. She likes
Torpedo
to be on
Anna
camera.
was like that.
Torpedo Anna,
Zenyatta
was like that. Yeah. So.
And even California Chrome.
Yeah.
Sovereignty, they say, has that vibe, and we're going to see him in a couple weeks, hopefully. So there's just an aura about great horses that show up, and they know their ability.
They all have their own unique personalities, and
Yeah.
I stress that during Dawn at Oaklawn. I'm like, they're like us. They have quirks. They have their faves. They have their not so faves. So yeah, it's pretty cool to figure out what a horse's personality is and really lean into that. Race number 6 is maiden claiming 16,000 Arkansas breds in for that price of 25,000. It is for 3-year-olds and up, and they are going to go 1 mile utilizing that short stretch run. Field of 10, and I'm just looking at some of these horses' names. Do you hear me? I think I say that probably about 20 times a day to Paul. Do you hear me?
Do you hear me, Paul?
It's
Paying
like
attention?
He's zoned out on golf or something. You never know.
Then you got to catch him on the golf course. I saw the one and only Paul Holthus last week on the golf course. I told you that. And I said, Paul, and he heard me right away.
Oh,
so
yeah.
his senses are heightened, apparently, on the golf
He
course.
loves a good golf game. So, Matt, what do you think about race number 6? This is also the first leg of the final 50-cent pick 5 sequence on the afternoon.
Well, I picked your top pick here, Nancy, Nepali Joe. So the second horse that we have is as the top pick here. I could see this going 2 different ways. I could see this horse running well,
really good, or really
or
bad.
putting our head down after the race and going, did I really just pick this horse? I don't have a strong opinion in this race.
Okay.
I just really kept looking at it going, boy, I just don't love anything that I see on paper here. And at least this horse has good speed figures, and he has run against tougher, and he's in for 16 today. And I just feel that the class drop is sort of what the doctor needs here to find the right medicine for this guy. And he's 0 for 2 on dirt. I mean, his 2 dirt races both were rained off grass, so he's never actually been entered in a dirt track fast race, but he's by Will Take Charge out of a dialed in mare. Let's see how he does with the fast track here. He's the horse to beat. Could I see him losing? Sure. Would I single him? Absolutely not, but he's the one to beat.
Yeah, he is one of several professional maidens in the group, but he has kind of been consistent. Not consistent getting that win, but he's been in the money 7 times in 14 starts, so he is certainly making himself worth it. I think if his recent numbers do transfer over from those other races, I think he is going to be the one to watch out for, and I agree. I wouldn't single him, but he is definitely one to use in your picks. Race 8 is a second level allowance. Nobody in for the optional claim price of $62,500. It is for 4-year-olds and up, going 3/4 of a mile. As we take a look, the 9 Feral is a scratch, which leaves a pretty competitive group of 8 set to go to the post.
I certainly think so, and this race is for 3-year-olds and upward. Most of these are 3-year-olds, but you've got your morning line favorite, Bon Temps, who is a 4-year-old. Before we get to my top pick, let's talk a little bit about Bon Temps and who he's run against his last 3 races. Ran in a maiden special weight going 2 turns, ran 3rd, beat well behind the top 2. Knew what's new in Publisher. Probably one of the strongest maiden special weight races we've seen all meet. Comes back, runs 2nd to Publisher, then most recently ran 3rd to Taptastic, who returned to run 3rd in the Arkansas Derby, and Don at Normandy, who ran 2nd, came back to break his maiden. So even though this horse is 0 for 16, I couldn't pick an 0 for 14 horse and an 0 for 16 horse back-to-back. I just couldn't do it, Nancy. But I do think he is the horse to beat, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he won this race. I'm going to try to beat him with Transformational, a horse that didn't run a step last time out. It says he had an awkward start. He broke a little slow, but it wasn't that bad. And he just didn't run, but he was caught wide on the far turn and turning for home, and he tried to kick on with the rest of the group and just couldn't do it. But he's by Uncle Mo out of a Bernardini mare. The dam was a router. The siblings all were routers. So the pedigree says this horse wants 2 turns. Brad Cox, 34% sprint to route. He's 35% with maiden second-time starters. So I just like the route pedigree here. I'm taking a shot with him. If he runs, great. If not, I'm going to be looking for Bon Tops down the lane to hopefully break his maiden here.
I apologize. I gave the conditions for race number 8. You know how I get ahead of myself. Race number 7 is what we are looking at, and that's 3 and up maiden allowance at a mile and a 16th. I did lean towards Bon Temps, by far the most experienced in the group. He's a professional maiden. He knows it. 17 starts. He has hit the board, though, in 3 starts at the current meeting. And as Matt alluded to, he's also come up against some of the biggest names that we have seen this season. But I think that he does get the age and certainly the advantage or the experience advantage. And I see him out front early again today. So, again, not one that I would single.
I would have a hard time doing it. I mean, I could see people doing it if they think, hey, this horse is just run against tougher. He's running against restricted or a lot of 3-year-olds here. He's an older horse. Let's think today's the day. I wouldn't do that. I agree with you, Nancy, but he does look like the horse to beat.
He does.
Really does.
He does. Sometimes those numbers transition over when you just get not as experienced or not as talented group of runners. Sometimes that is what you need to find your friends, so to speak. Yeah.
And he's been running against some older horses, and now he's in against 3-year-olds. And we've seen plenty of 3-year-olds and 3-year-olds in up races win these types of races.
For sure.
But I do think there's a little bit of an edge there for an older horse. It's been running against proven, legit stakes winners at this point now.
We know how Publisher felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know how he felt, and now he probably doesn't even remember he was ever a baby.
He's like, the light bulb has gone on. I'm not looking back. So
for sure.
Now race number 8 is a second level allowance for 4 and up, going 6 furlongs. A really interesting field. Sadly, it's now a field of 4 because we did have scratches of the number 3, 4, 5, and 6. So with just this 4-horse field, there is no show and no superfecta wagering.
Well, I would think the good news is that we can pick 4 horses in this race, our top 4 picks, and know that they're going to come in this order in some way, shape, or form here.
Yes,
So
mix and match.
There aren't a lot of guarantees in racing. That is one guarantee. Assuming they all finish the race, we're going to see a good chance we get the superfecta here, Nancy. I picked number 7, Linzer, in this race. This horse ran a huge race last time out to Second ID, who was my original top choice in here. Dueled in the lead, went 21-2, 44-3, and got tagged late. Huge effort from him. Carbone is a pace presence in here, but I don't think that he's as fast as Linzer. I think Linzer, he can go 21 and change, no problem. This horse is very speedy early in the race, and I think he can clear off and get the job done here. He's 4 for 25 with 10 other in the money finishes, but I thought that last race was super, and I think he's ready to run well here. In a small field, I think he benefits. And I don't think Carbone, if he tries to go with this horse, is going to end well because Linzer is very one-dimensional, and if they hook up going 21 and change, it could get ugly late in the game. So
for sure.
I think he's going to try to sit right behind him, and I think Linzer can clear off and get brave.
Yeah, Linzer really talented. My only question with him is, does he have that staying power late in the lane? Unfortunately, he hasn't had it. At the distance, 7 starts, has produced 3 seconds and 2/3. Still looking for that first win at 6 furlongs. So I did wind up on Carbone, and the trainer's name is Kenan LaRose, and get familiar with that name because you're going to be seeing it a lot in the near future, as he is the assistant, now trainer, that took the reins from trainer Tom Amos. The 5-year-old is one of 3 who did win their most recent, well, that stat has changed since then, so is probably one of 2 that won their last start. Last go, wiring a field of 10 in a ratings handicap, which we have seen several of those this month. Scoring by more than 4 as the favorite, came home in 108-3. That was rolling. That's moving. Given the amount of speed in the group, I think it's going to be another hotly contested pace, despite just now being a field of 4. We do have a stakes race on the weekend. I love when we highlight Arkansas breds. This is the 48th running of the $150,000 Rainbow Mist Stakes for 3-year-old Arkansas bred fillies, and they're going to contest 6 furlongs in distance, a field of 10, and we do have several that actually supplemented into the body of the race.
And we see that sometimes with these Arkansas bred stakes. A horse is ready, they're saying, let's take a shot. This is a rare opportunity for runners that want to run in a stake, It's restricted to 3-year-old fillies. So I can totally understand. You've got horses that come off of maiden claiming wins. I don't know if in this race, we even have a maiden in here. So we see that with the Rainbow and the Rainbow Miss Stakes. I did pick the morning line favorite, Walkaway K. She has the most class, was second best behind Next Out Winner one way or another, who beat Open Company her next starting to start her allowance. And then the third place finisher came back to win. She broke her maiden first out at Remington, was second in the Astral Spa overnight stakes against Open Company to none other than the fantasy winner Counting Stars. So she's the class of the race, the one to beat. You look at the morning line, I think our morning line makers tabbed it right. Numbers 5, Walkaway K, and number 1, Cut a Cutie. Both are the ones to beat, and they're going to get bet very heavily, both of them, and well clearing the wagering of everybody else, I think, here.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go to that rail post position. Not crazy about the rail, but I think this runner is going to be able to get into a good position early. That is Cut a Cutie. Aaron West shipping in and legging up jockey Manny Esquivel. She and Walkaway K certainly do look to be the ones to beat. They both exit that runner-up finish against First Level Allowance Option 25. Those races on the same day. They split the race, so they did compete in different fields. Both races, ironically, coming home in 1, 10, and 3. And it should be noted there were a lot of older runners in both sides of the races. So back in against 3-year-olds, again, does get the rail, but I think does have the speed necessary to get in a good position early, like last out. So Matt and I, those are our selections for race number 9, but I real quickly do want to say, Matt mentioned there is a maiden in here. That is the number 9, Pardon Me Z. Looks to be the last stakes horse that trainer Jinx Fires will saddle. And it's interesting, with the exception of the few years when he did serve his country in the military, he has been part of Oaklawn since 1959. So he is certainly one of the good ones. He is retiring at the end of the race meet at 85 years old. He does not look it. And I love the fact that just like D. Wayne Lucas did, he still gets on his pony every morning. So he is a true treasure, not only to Oaklawn, but to the racing industry as well. You will never find a person that has an ill word about Jinx Fires.
No, I mean, he's just a ray of sunshine when you see him. And he's the type of guy, he's going to always say good morning. He's always going to shake your hand. He's going to ask you how you're doing and genuinely mean it. Just a wonderful man and a hardworking individual, a blue-collar man.
Very much.
He had to earn every penny with hard work and dedication, and like you said, you will not find a bad word about him at all, and and you shouldn't.
And he did win the 2011 Arkansas Derby with Arch. Had a grade 1 victory. A lot of trainers go their whole career without winning a graded stakes. He won a pair of grade 3s and the grade 1 Arkansas Derby. So Jinx will definitely be a big presence missed come next season.
And we hope that next season he does come and visit. He's local, so we'd love to see him come to the races and visit us. I'm sure he will.
He will.
I'm sure, and whenever he gets a chance to ride a horse, even after his training career, I'm sure he's going to get on. He's a cowboy at heart.
He is at heart. His brother Early is in the Hall of Fame as a rider, and he's cousins with the Ironman Perry Oots himself.
Oh,
so,
I did not know that.
They're all from this little
great
part of
horseman
Arkansas.
family.
Oh, huge horsemen. They're like the Bays family out in California.
Gotcha.
Or the Patans or somebody down in Louisiana. Race number 10, as we close it out, is for 3-year-old fillies. Maiden claiming $30,000, and they are going to go 6 furlongs in distance. And I love it. We got a full field of 12. Just scratching are also eligibles.
That's the way to go out, with a full field here, Nancy. And I'm going to pick my best bet of the day in this race, Really Fancy River. 4th best last time out, sat off the pace. I watched the replay, sort of got jostled around between horses a little bit at the start. When it says bumped at the start, I like to watch the replay. Some
how significant
bumps are worse
it was,
than others, And this horse made a little bit of a rally down the lane and was never a threat to win, never looked like she was going to win, but she came on decent enough, and now with a better start for Chris Hartman, second out. Chris Hartman, 19% with maiden second-time starters. That's a good percentage.
That's a big number, especially when maidens are involved.
His horses, for the 3 years I've been here and I've been following this circuit, his horses really show good turn of foot late in their second start. So I think improvement is very, very possible here.
I'm going to look to the Johnny Ortiz barn, that crazy Colombian, as I like to call him. He legs up Danilo Grisales Rabe with the number 11 Street Twirl. Makes her third career start and also second off of a layoff. Exits that third place finish at 18-1. Early last month when taking that drop in for the tag at 35,000. Now she did set some very quick fractions, began to kind of flatten out at the top of the lane, staying on for that show spot at 18-1. Now there is speed kind of sprinkled throughout the field, but I wouldn't be shocked to see her on the front end today. She just needs to maintain that staying power to the finish line. So great way to close out on the 10 race Friday card. Real quickly, let's take a look at our show bet parlay, our long shot and top pick, sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt's going to do his show bet parlay starting in, let's say, race 6. I think those should be switched.
Yeah.
We're going to go race 6, 7, 9, and 10. Really fancy river rounding it out for Matt in the nightcap. Well, I'm going to go with the opener, the number 6, Crushed Ice. On the stage, Nepali Joe and Cut a Cutie in the Rainbow Miss. Long shot play of the day, Matt goes to Sister Carly in the 5th, and I'm going to look towards Danita in the same race. We're going head-to-head there, and top pick sponsored by Anywhere. We have bookended the card for you. I'm going to go to the opener with Crushed Ice, and Matt goes to the nightcap with Really Fancy River. I wonder what a really fancy river looks like.
Couldn't tell you. I mean, I've seen a lot of beautiful
houses, or
I've seen beautiful rivers. I haven't seen fancy rivers. I've seen fancy suits. I've seen fancy hairdos. Have not seen a fancy river.
Who knows? Maybe we'll have to Google it. Matt's going to be up on the roof giving you the full set of changes. You'll see him handicapping as well. You'll see me down in the paddock and then talking to some stakes winners later this afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Friday edition of Oaklawn Today. For Matt Dinnerman, I'm Nancy Holthus. Good luck and good racing.